some of these drills maybe aren't really cut out to make goalies, look great. But you guys get quite a bit in these practices, don't you?
Yeah, I think like there's a lot of competitiveness, and maybe you say that they're not really meant for the goalies, but there's always that compete level that no matter what the drill is, whether it's 3-on-0, 3-on-1, 2-on-2, is just compete. Got to earn everything you get, so just staying that competitiveness high and trying to get anything you can on it.
You mentioned UC Saros in Nashville. Who's one of the guys you kind of pattern yourself after or look at. Who are some of the other guys you modeled your game after or watched growing up?
Yeah, I watched a lot of Marc-Andre Fleury growing up. I think more about his mental attitude and like morale during the game. You can always see him having a smile on his face, enjoying the game for what it is, not taking it too seriously, things like that. So just learning to see the game for what it is and as a sport. And when you're doing something like this, you got to have fun with it. You don't want it to become a job. So just staying positive, having fun, and it'll take you far.
You mentioned in Nashville that Thomas was a mentor of yours. Just what did it mean to have a goalie partner, come in at 16 and have a goalie partner like him, and you guys were able to push each other and you could learn from him, and what did that do for your career, I guess?
Yeah, I think we could both mutually agree that it did amazing things for our career. I think every day we showed up to practice with the mindset that we were going to compete against each other, and no matter if that was a bag skate at the end of practice or a small area game, it was never just, oh, he's going to beat me. It was, okay, I'm going to do what he does and more. It was constantly competitiveness, constantly working with each other to make each other better. Hey, this team's doing this. Hey, the power play is certain setup like that. So just that constant communication and constant competitiveness, I think we could just both mutually agree it made us better.
It's been like a whirlwind for you. You got drafted, and next thing you know, a day or two later, you're pulling on a sweater and you're out on the ice with the young players here. Has it been kind of a whirlwind for you?
Yeah, it's been an awesome experience. Like you said, a little bit of a whirlwind, but you're just trying to get used to the schedule, see what kind of that pro life is like with the workouts and recovery, things like that. So I think it's mostly just been a learning experience, and it's been awesome.
Which one's the story of your pads?
Big time retro guy. I think it was just they went well with the jerseys. I think I'm gonna do something a little more simple next year, but you make it your own personal flair. So I think the retro was a good look this year.
Did you design them yourself? Or
Yeah.
Really? And so you saw guys from like the early 90s and said, that's what I want? Or?
Yeah, and then there was like a couple Casimir Kaskasuo, he had a kind of a similar setup like that. So I just kind of color coordinated to the T-Birds, and it worked out nice, so I was happy.
You joined comparisons to Devin Levi because of your size and what you've been able to do. Just what does it mean when you hear his name with yours already?
Yeah, I think honestly it's just a big honor to kind of be compared like that. And he's kind of mastered that class of trying to take as much space up as possible, being that size. So he's definitely another guy that I like to look at and see how he kind of plays the game, both mentally and working on angles and things like that. So he's definitely a mentor, and it's an honor to be in the same organization as him.
With your role in Seattle the last 2 years, what was it like learning how to handle the ups and downs when you're not the guy who's playing every game, right? How do you manage that aspect of it?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of just staying neutral, never getting too high on your wins, never getting too low on your losses. And like you said, may have not played mostly of the games and like playoffs, things like that, but I just try to take it one day at a time. You have those shooters like Gunther and Lambert every single day in practice. So you can use those guys to your advantage. And if you make every day count, whether that's putting workouts in after practice or after games like that, you're just bound to, get stronger, get better. And when your opportunity comes, you make the most of it.
What's it been like to get to know Benson? I mean, you've been going against him a lot. Now you get to know him, and then you leave here and you get to go against him again. Now, what's it been like to get to know him?
He's awesome. He's a great character, great guy, and he's a competitor too. You can always see him working hard, and similar to me, he may not be the biggest guy, he might not be the strongest or heaviest guy, but he battles in the corner, he works hard, so I give props to him, and he's just overall a great character guy.
How has the Hockey Canada experience changed you as a goalie? I mean, it's obviously a very elite teams you've been on, and that must be a confidence boost and tell you're doing things right.
Yeah, I think it's more of just seeing kind of where you stand throughout the world. I played U17s, and that was with COVID, and we kind of just stayed. There was 3 Canada teams and then the women's national team, which was an awesome experience to play against them. But U18s, it kind of opened up the door to the teams like Sweden and Finland, where you got to kind of see, okay, where do I compare against these other guys? And playing at that global stage is just an awesome experience. And the overall, management and things like that have just been great guys, and I've learned how to handle myself better as an individual. So.
How do you do when you see the guys lining up for shots during the drills today? You guys doing the between the leg shots and whatnot?
Yeah, I think you just got to be ready for everything. You never know. These guys are very talented, and they can pull off things like that in the Michigan and through the legs and things like that. So expect the unexpected for sure.
You ever had to face a Michigan?
Yeah, I ended up getting one in the top prospects game this year against Riley Height, and thankfully I stopped it, or it would have been all over TSN. So we'll still be talking about it. So I'm happy I stopped it.
So do you work with a goalie coach in the summers?
Yeah, I have Kelly Gard, and it's nice because he's also been my goalie coach through the Team Canada, kind of making my way up there. So it's nice to kind of work with him, and he's a very good guy. He works kind of around your shape. There's not a cookie-cutter way of playing goal. It's how, okay, I'm better on my feet, so how can we use that to our advantage? So he's very good at adapting to each individual's strengths.
How did you find him?
Team Canada.
Oh,
Yeah. He was our goalie coach at U17s, and then we just kind of, thought same wavelength, I guess you could say, and we just kind of stayed throughout the summertime.
thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.